Most men aren't weak. They're just emotionally undisciplined. They lose their temper, their focus, their dignity, and then they call it just how I am. That's a lie. A man who can't control his emotions is already being controlled by them. Chanakya said it plainly. A wise man rules his mind. A fool is ruled by it. What he didn't say but meant is this. The world doesn't defeat you first. Your emotions do. If that sentence made you uncomfortable, good. This video is for you. Most people think emotions are something you either express freely or suppress completely. Both are weak positions. The loud, reactive man is a slave. The numb, detached man is hiding. Real power sits in the middle. Calm awareness, controlled response, chosen action. And here's the brutal truth most people don't want to hear. Your emotions don't come from the situation. They come from your interpretation of it. Someone disrespects you. You feel anger. You think the anger is justified, automatic, unavoidable. It's not. Between the event and your reaction, there is a gap. That gap is where power lives. Most men never learn to stand there. Look closely at your worst decisions. The message you shouldn't have sent. The argument you escalated. The money you wasted. The opportunity you ruined. Almost none of them came from logic. They came from emotion wearing the mask of logic. Anger says, I had no choice. Desire says, I deserve this. Fear says, I must act now. And you obey not because you're stupid, but because you've never trained yourself not to. This is what Chanakya meant by slavery. Not chains. Reflexes. If someone else can trigger your anger on demand, they own you. If boredom can push you into distraction, addiction, or comfort, it owns you. If validation controls your mood, your confidence is rented, not owned. Now, most of you are thinking, so what? Am I supposed to feel nothing? No. You're supposed to feel everything without letting it drive. Mastery is not emotional suppression. Suppression leaks. It turns into resentment, bitterness, passive aggression. Mastery is emotional command. It's feeling anger rise and choosing silence. Feeling attraction and choosing restraint. Feeling fear and moving anyway. That choice is what separates rulers from slaves. A ruler doesn't eliminate threats. He understands them. Your emotions are not enemies. They're signals. Anger tells you a boundary was crossed. Fear tells you something matters. Desire tells you where your attention is leaking. But signals are meant to be read, not obeyed blindly. The moment you act without choice, you've lost authority over yourself. There is a reason the calm man unsettles people. He doesn't react when provoked. He doesn't explain himself when misunderstood. He doesn't chase validation when ignored. Not because he's passive, but because he's selective. Most men exhaust themselves emotionally. They argue with reality. They fight outcomes they can't change. They try to control other people instead of themselves. The disciplined man does the opposite. He conserves energy. He waits. He observes. And when he acts, it's precise. That's why emotional control looks boring from the outside, but deadly in effect. The first shift is awareness. Before you master anything, you must catch it in real time. When emotion rises, don't label it good or bad. Just notice it. I'm angry. I'm craving. I'm afraid. That pause alone breaks the chain. Next comes delay. You don't need to respond immediately to everything. Urgency is the favorite weapon of emotion. Most damage happens because men act too fast, not because they act wrong. And finally, choice. Ask one question. What action serves my long-term power, not my short-term relief? That question filters weakness instantly. Chanakya lived in a world of politics, betrayal, war, and power struggles. He understood something modern men forget. Emotions are leverage. Whoever controls their inner state controls the situation. Stoics said the same thing centuries later. You don't control events. You control your response. And your response determines your fate. That's not poetry. That's strategy. Most men will never master their emotions. They'll justify them, romanticize them, blame others for them, and then wonder why life feels chaotic. But a small percentage will do the quiet work. They'll train restraint. They'll choose composure over reaction. They'll rule their inner world before trying to conquer anything outside. So the question isn't whether emotions will try to control you. They will. The only question is whether you'll notice or spend your life calling slavery freedom.